Actually, I should say that Mary, I've just had flashbacks of very late nights and a lot of coffee, and talking to Mary at 12 o'clock at night, because she was involved in writing the vid as well, and mine. Yes. yeah. Online. In the days where we could see when each other were online, yes. But, well, those who were there at the NIOS event might be pleased to know I'm not going to be really very much referring to this PowerPoint presentation. I'm not a fan of PowerPoint, but I have got a few slides for you. PowerPoint seems to be my nemesis these days, but I have got a few. And I'm also not going to talk to you a lot about stats and all our findings. We have so much data, we have so many lessons that we've learned. And we're going to talk about that a lot more at our next steering group, which the date is still to be confirmed, but it's going to be in about 2-ish weeks. So for those of you who love stats and data and you've heard me talk about it before, please come to our steering group and I'll talk to you all about that. Okay, so it feels quite surreal to be here today. It has been a long journey, it's been a long time, long 3 years, and it's been a very full and interesting and fascinating 3 years. And we started it back here, actually downstairs, and that's a very fuzzy photograph of somebody from Race Online who came to our launch event 3 years ago. Now, dare I try and play? No, I don't think I'm going to play that. I'm not going to try and play that. But that was a long time ago. It's at the beginning of this journey, and it is good coming after Mike and Pearl, because they've both contextualised that journey within the bigger journey of the WEA around volunteering and around digital inclusion in the East Midlands. So our DAIN, the beginning, first steps of DAIN, because I hope it is only the first steps of something really different in the East Midlands, is actually quite short. Those 3 years are quite short. They have gone really quickly, and we have learned so much. Who's been involved in DAIN? Wow, it's been huge, hasn't it? And from a staff and partnership perspective, you'll see some of the key faces there, but not all of them. As you know, Sophia's off in America now doing fun stuff with family, so she can't be here today. I think Annie was joining us, but she's not here yet. So hopefully Annie will be here later on today, for those of you that remember Annie. And I just wanted to say thank you to that flourishing woman down there. My colleague, Mary, Angelique, myself, Claire, Safa, our colleagues at Safa, Caroline, Laurie. We've been in it from the start. We've stuck at it. We're hardcore. And I'm sure we've cursed each other at times.
Not to your face.
We've worked well as a team, and I just want to thank my colleagues across the partnership and within the team, because it's been a real experience. I've got my I Heart DAIN badge on today, so it's all good today. It's all positive and rosy and lovely. Okay, who else? Well, all of you, of course. Most important people, the volunteers. It's been fantastic. I cannot believe how many amazing people I've met who volunteered for this project. It's blown me away. The skills, the experience, the enthusiasm, the dedication to your community on the subject is just amazing. And there's only a few photos on there, but there's a lot more at the back. And behind you, of course, all the people that you supported in your communities. All those amazing stories we hear, either from your feedback and your data, and your verbal reports, or all those brilliant comments on the dreaded 5C form. And they're all positive. I don't think we've had one negative comment, maybe one out of 1,200. They're all positive comments. It's fantastic. Sadly, Janet can't be here today. She was going to be here, but she's not very well. So, and she really isn't very well. She's got horrible laryngitis. So, we'll send her our best. And where we started with our action research project, somebody's going to shoot a pop at me in a minute. I'm really scared. But some of the questions were about what works. Are there things that work for particular communities? And as you know, I hope, we did have communities of interest and geographical communities. And so there were some big questions around, are there things that work for particular communities? And I'm not going to go into all the answers around that, but the broad answer to that is a quote there that actually was Alistair's quote, and I used that in our launch conference 3 years ago. It's different strokes for different folks. You know, everybody's unique. There are some common denominators within some of the groups, but there's huge diversity. You know, nobody's identity is defined by them being a woman. They're also an older woman, or they're also a baby woman, or they also have experience of X, Y, and Z. And that hook, when Mike talked about that hook, what gets you involved, what gets you excited for the first time, is unique to you. It really is. And that's the strength that you've had as volunteers, to be able to work on that one-to-one level with somebody, is to find that unique hook that's going to get somebody excited about technology. So that's the answer, really. It's not, one size does not fit all, and this model lends itself to that. You got your hand up, Steve?
Yeah, can you just help me out with those acronyms?
Oh, yes. Oh, I can't believe I've done that. Thank you. Yes, BAME is Black, Asian, Minority, Ethnic and Refugee, and I usually do put that in brackets, so apologies. And NEET is not in employment, education or training. Yeah, thank you. I'm terrible for acronyms, and when I'm doing equalities training, I always talk about how exclusive acronyms are and then use them myself, so apologies about that. Had to throw the wall in. Like, this is just for Mike. I had to throw the wall in because this was in my presentation 3 years ago, and Mike hates it. And actually, much as I hate it, was in the bid, it was in the presentation, and Mike hates it, that concept of a physical divide. And I have to say, 3 years later, damn, he's right. There's no such thing. It is not. And one of Alistair's colleagues very eloquently expressed that, and I've got a video of him explaining why that is such an inappropriate metaphor. And I thought, oh, Mike's right. It's so much more dynamic than that. It is so much more dynamic than that. So I just had to throw that one back in there. I think Mike and Pearl have talked about why WA are involved, so I'm not going to repeat that. It is, it's so much more than the technology and the tubes and pipes. It is an issue of social justice. It is about enabling people to engage fully in the way that they choose to. It's their choice at the end of the day, but to give them the power to make that choice is a key strand of social justice now. It doesn't sit in the IT curriculum, it doesn't sit in technology or in geeky groups somewhere. It's an issue for everybody. So that's why we're involved. And our journey has been documented using this technology. And I held my hands up 3 years ago. I wasn't a techie then, I'm not a techie now. I still can't tweet, so I've got no idea what I tweet, whatever it is. Hash thing, I don't know. But I have learnt stuff. I've learnt stuff too, and it's been an eye-opener. I have been a convert to blogs, mainly due to our colleague Alan, who can't be here today, but you know, the revolution that is blogs and the power it gives you to express yourself online. You know, love it or hate it, you will hear my verbal, whatever it is, diarrhea. And I have my own blogs. I've set up so many blogs now. But it has enabled us to capture a lot of data, reflection, your experiences, your findings, and all of that's there. And some of those links are to films that have been made to help share that learning with our colleagues across the national WA and beyond, and partners. So it's just about underlining this is only the start of the journey, and even if you go on, and we hope you do go on and succeed and excel outside and beyond WA, we hope you still remember us and stay in touch, and we really hope you still engage and stay involved directly in whatever DAIN turns into. And we've got all sorts of projects developing that are really keen, and amazingly talented digital activists are now setting up. So I know there's going to be all sorts of DAIN children, babies around the region, which is very exciting. But I hope that you'll stay in touch, even if it's only virtually. I hope. Yeah, maybe I should read. Not too many real babies. Baby projects. And I'm not going anywhere, I hope, unless Mike's got to tell me something different. So, you know, so stay in touch, please. This is only the start of the journey. I think bringing it back to the Tawny quote, and I can't remember the date of this quote, but and I deliberately put it in there on paper rather than retyping it in, so that's terrible pixelation, but just to read what it says. Does anybody know the date of this quote, roughly? Shame on you, I know. Thank you. Yeah, I know it's about 100 years old. I know it's about 100 years old, which is amazing if you read it, because it says we're not merely an educational association, but a workers' educational association. Our business is not to organise classes for whom, in the circumstances of today, it may, for one reason or another, be easiest to attract. It's to create a demand for education in individuals and bodies who at the moment may be unconscious of its importance to them. but who, if a tolerable society is to be created, must be one to believe in it. And that is as relevant now as it is to today as it was then, to the WEA, to DAIN, and to all of us, and that is what it's all about for me. So what next in our lifelong journey? Another picture back from the presentation 3 years ago. I thought we would revisit this fairly bad picture actually up there. It's nice on here. And again, we're challenged about this concept of a journey being linear, but it's not meant to be linear. It's just a nice picture. I like it. And it's about it being, you know, it's not a straight line. It isn't linear. We will do loops. And again, Alistair's colleagues spoke really eloquently about you can be included one year and excluded the next. And as things change, it's very easy to slip out. It's not a linear journey that you're constantly moving towards. And I'm probably only... I'll always be climbing in, but I'm quite excited about it. I'm not a real techie, as I said. But I think DAIN has been really important in the WA's journey around moving towards being more inclusive and thinking about how we embed digital inclusion across the curriculum, how we get a more diverse group of volunteers involved in core WA work, and in so many ways. And just to underline that really, we're only at the start of the journey. So I really hope you do stay with us. We do stay in touch. Today is meant to be all about a celebration. I promised I wasn't going to talk stats at you, and I haven't. I hope you're impressed. And I think I've actually kept my 10 minutes, which is, I think, the first time.
I can confirm that you have not.
Oh, how many? Right, how many?
11 and a half.
Oh, wow! Cool. That's a record. Okay, so that's it from me. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day. It is about celebrating your achievements and your commitment and the start of your journey too. So thank you for being here.